We're going to get into the playoffs and so much more here as we get started. Hopefully, you got to hear that first 30 seconds because usually with these type of headsets, from what I've read, if you have your microphone up like that, it means that you can't hear. So if you didn't hear me, I apologize, and I'll probably have to edit some audio, which I have to get back into the swing of audio, ripping the audio and posting that up for everybody. So, but a lot going on today, and especially right now with all the breaking news that happened over the last couple of hours. And the big news is, well, the biggest of the news is the passing of Pete Rose. And the thing is with that is with Pete Rose's passing, um, it's almost, and hopefully with what I say is in the same vein as, yeah, hopefully you understand what I'm trying to say when I'm about to make this comparison, um, for different reasons. In a way, if you think about it, it's kind of like the passing of O.J. Simpson a couple months ago because you want to say one of the great football players with O.J. Simpson, but you have to say, well, all this stuff that happened away from the field with O.J. Simpson, and also with Pete Rose, because yeah, he was the hit king, but he bet on baseball, and he also had the underage sexual encounters allegedly, in during spring training in Florida in the 70s. So, you kind of teeter on that edge once again where it's like, so, um, but you have to acknowledge the player part. 4,256 hits, numerous championships. He had, I think, three or four with Cincinnati. He was the missing piece to the Phillies winning their first World Series in 1980. And it's very it's you want to talk about the good things with Pete Rose, but you also I mean you want to talk about on the field, but off the field it's like ugh. And it's tough to talk about because you knew he had his issues and mostly gambling, but you know you have to acknowledge the fact that you have to acknowledge the good with the bad, that he is the hit king, but you also have to acknowledge all the other things that were going on in his life. But this came down. The news broke right around the second game of the doubleheader ended. So you did have that, and I think from what I saw, TMZ first. TMZ was first to break the story, at least from my eyes. Now, if it was somebody else, I give them the credit as well. It's just what I saw this afternoon and or this evening. Now, the one thing I will tell you, and this is something that we've learned from Twitter many years ago, where you can make a fake account, create something, start a rumor, and it just snowballs. I mean, look at the Johnny Gaudreau thing. We were watching this snowball become an avalanche, but we didn't have the confirmation of his passing until the next morning. Now, typical me, because fool me once, shame on me, fool me twice, shame on you, or however it goes. You know how it goes. And if I messed it up, I messed it up. Okay. But the one thing I will say is, I first saw it from one of my Facebook friends, and um, he's, he made a comment about it, and I was like, okay, well, let me confirm this. I mean, because TMZ, it's kind of like, well, they kind of get the stories right, but let me get a second or a third source, or let me do this, let me do that, and eventually, over time, it did hit through, and fortunately, we did lose Pete Rose today at the age of 83. The article that I'm going to read off of is from the New York Post. Well, actually, I'm going to read the TMZ article as well, but um, the Reds did confirm his passing. He was a 17-time All-Star, played 24 years with the Phillies, Reds, and Expos. I think he played for the Expos for like 2 months before he went back to the Reds. His agent Ryan Fitterman of Fitterman Sports told TMZ that the MLB great's family was asking for privacy at this time. That's something you always hear. He died in his home in Las Vegas today. Um, Details of Rose's passing are limited, but ABC News reported that Rose had been found by a family member and that the scene is being examined, but no signs of foul play. There's no signs of foul play here. So, um, I mean, some of the records he holds. He's the all-time leader in hits, 4256, 3,215 singles, uh, 3,562 games, 14,053 at bats, 15,890 plate appearances. He had 3 batting titles, 2 Gold Gloves. I'm sorry, he had 3 World Series rings, 2 with Cincinnati, 1 with Philadelphia. Um, he had a 44-game hitting streak. Um, he finished his career as a player manager with the Reds from '84 to '86 before turning full attention to managing duties in 1989. And we all know about the gambling. Um, um, in a 2018 interview with the Cincinnati Enquirer, and Enquirer spelled wrong here. The Enquirer in Cincinnati is with an E, not an I, you dopes. Um, Rose called his decision to bet on baseball one thing I would change if I had to live it all over again. Um, Rose said in 2018 the reason he never came clean about his betting was because he was afraid. Well, there was also the book. Um, but he's never been up for nomination to the Baseball Hall of Fame because of the scandal, and despite years of denying he ever bet on games. Um, he admitted to betting baseball in 2004. That's when his book came out. Now, there's never been any question about his greatness on the field, but his lifetime ban from baseball over accusations he bet on baseball while managing the Reds overshadowed his legacy. Um, um, but, and over the last few years, he did. I mean, I know from watching, um, like some of the things he had on, like for example, being. I guess he was drunk in the Phillies clubhouse when they honored him with the rest of the 1980 Phillies, or was it 83? Well, it was either 80 or 83, and he was in the booth being vulgar. Now, granted, because you were on a cable channel, not on regular TV, you can kind of get away with it. So, you do have all these different things that, you know, for every good thing he did on the field, he had 18 issues off the field. And I don't think we can forget what he's done off the field as well, between gambling on baseball, the alleged underage sexual relations with somebody in the 70s in Florida during spring training. But, I mean, it's tough because you want to say, you want to give Pete Rose his laurels. But one thing I want to do is I want to play this, and hopefully this does make it um, onto the video. At least it'll be, uh, okay. Boom. And we banned somebody. So I'm going to play this video here. This is from ESPN. Um, they were going through, they were talking about the doubleheader. I'll get more into that in a little bit, but I'm going to play this video, and this is how it broke. The news broke on ESPN today. So let me pull this up here. Okay, so there we go. So I'm going to share this screen here, and you'll get to see how the news broke on ESPN after the doubleheader. Actually, I think it was ESPN two, but you know. But on the ESPN network of channels, we'll hear the news here. And here you go.
Mets Brewers game one tomorrow evening, 5:30 p.m. Eastern. Braves. Yes.
Jay.
Yes.
I want to throw in a little breaking news, a little sad news that I just received as well here in the last inning. My father called me and I confirmed it with my my brother, Pete Rose Jr. Pete Rose passed away today, and it's hard. So, it's one of those times where Hannah and I have been together on set for the loss of Jose Fernandez years ago, almost to the day. And just to be able to have lost Pete Rose today is a big hit for a lot of baseball families. So it's a tough one right now.
All right, Eduardo, as we get more information on that, we appreciate you giving us everything that you have this evening on the baseball and the news. Eduardo, thank you so much.
All right. Thanks, Jay.
So that was how the news broke on ESPN tonight after the game, and that was on Sports Center after the game because you could see they were going to preview the Monday night game in Detroit. So, um, but um, you do have um, you did have that. And, it's a lot of people died, and Brian is here. Welcome in, DJ Brian. Um, you know, the one thing I will tell you guys is, and Mike is here as well. Got Brian and Mike here, and I do have a breaking news that is not death related as well. Um, Unfortunately, we're talking about the big news that broke this afternoon. Um, you know, and it's hard to say that Pete Rose, with everything that he's done and all the controversies he's had, with gambling and also um, um, the 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 alleged sexual acts with minors when he was back in the 70s in spring training. And I say allegedly because I think because the statute of limits everything, they couldn't really do anything about it. But it's just it was just you recognize the baseball part, but also the other parts as well. But now we get to the part of Pete Rose as we get away from the good and bad of his personal life. Let's get on to what we talked about. Um, and Mike says it perfectly. His off the field activities tainted his accomplishments. Yeah. And and here's the thing that I will tell you guys, and you can disagree with me, you can agree with me, or you can just say, okay, whatever side you want to take, you can. Um, I just feel that if he gambled on baseball, Pete Rose, as a manager, I think it is very, very possible he bet as a player. Now, he was known for gambling, and he used to go to Tampa Bay Downs back in the 70s and 80s when Cincinnati had their spring training in Florida, and the Phillies were right down the street from Tampa Bay Downs in Clearwater. Now, granted, down the street is probably like a half an hour to an hour, but you get the idea. But and I know one of the podcasts that I listened to, Jason Beam and the Jason Beam Horse Racing podcast, he would tell stories about Pete Rose gambling at Turfway Park back when Turfway Park would have like three different meets, like a September meet, a winter meet, and well, two meets. But he always told about him gambling there as well. So you know, and I would not be surprised if he did bet on baseball as a player, but the investigations did not go into that. It was more as a manager with everything that was going on with everything with um, everything with everything with the I think it was an IRS case that got him into trouble and gambling, and you're starting to put two and two together, and you see this, and everything came together, and and the thing is, and maybe Pete Rose would already be in the Hall of Fame if he took the route that Andy Pettitte did when he got caught with HGH or steroids or whatever it was. And Andy Pettitte right away said, "Yeah, I took it. I took it so I can get back on the mound. I didn't take it to have an advantage." Now, Pete Rose, if he said right away, "Yeah, I bet on baseball," instead of waiting 14 years, I think that maybe our stance would have softened up a little bit for those that say that he does not belong in the Hall of Fame. Now, I saw some people tonight on Twitter saying, or maybe it was Facebook, I don't know. Um, he should be in the he should have been in the Hall of Fame in the first place. Well, or Major League Baseball was keeping him out. No, the Hall of Fame did because they did not want the writers to write him in and have him have that whole thing going on. But now the question is, do we get what we've been predicting since the last 20, 25, 30 years where, okay, well, Pete Rose has died now. Does he posthumously get into the Hall of Fame? That that is interesting to see now because now you're getting into, well, you know did we punish Pete Rose enough? But whatever it is, um, what I mean, I just think my argument against him being in the Hall of Fame more than anything else, and if you had the DeLorean and you could go in time and you can choose, and if you're allowed in the clubhouse, you can check the clubhouse out. You look, start with probably 1920, probably can go earlier than that. Rule number one, even though it's not rule number one in the books, but the number one rule that you did not, the number one rule you abided by was you bet on baseball, you're banned. Plain and simple. I mean, it isn't like steroids, which, all of a sudden came into being 30, 40 years ago. Now, you could argue, well, steroids is taken away from the integrity game as well. Because, you could have a, you could have a, you know, you could have a guy like Mark McGuire and Sammy Sosa and Barry Bonds. They're not, and sorry, I'm burping like crazy. you know, you compare them and you look at it and you say, well, if I guess he wasn't satisfied with a 404-foot homer. I guess he has to hit it 505. And we all know Barry Bonds, he wanted to hit his home runs because guess what? He couldn't stand the fact that there were guys that were hitting more homers than him. But, when it comes to Pete Rose, rule number one since almost the beginning of professional baseball was you bet on baseball, you're banned. Plain and simple. Now, we never investigated the burden of proof of did he bet on baseball as a player, because that was never investigated. It was more because of what came up with his, I think it was IRS fraud. if I'm not mistaken, that he was in jail for. But the fact that he did bet on baseball, that's enough to tell me he does not belong in the Hall of Fame, even though he has two careers. And he actually the two careers did commingle between 84 and 86 because he was a player manager from 82 to 86. So I don't know about you. I say no, but I will listen to the argument for yes, but I'm saying no. But but it'll be interesting to see what happens over the next couple of years because we will find out if the line of succession from Bart Giamatti to Faye Vincent to Bud Selig to Rob Manfred, if they said, well, we may let him in, but we're going to make sure he passes away first. We're not going to give him that satisfaction. Or they may say, even with the fact that he passes away, don't let him in. That may be the case here. But whatever it is, he did have um, and I will get to that in a second, Brian. Um, but I'm just like, it's just, you can argue either way with it. I'm not the type of person that's going to say you're wrong. That's it, no more. I'll let you. I'm the type of person where if you want to say it in chat, I'm okay with it. Within reason. Like I always say, you call me an F and A hole, and you don't have substantive proof of that. Well, Mike definitely does know that I'm an F and A hole. No, I'm only kidding. Uh, but you get the idea. So, um, but it's just you know, it's tough to say. Is it a good thing? I mean, you know, good person, bad person. It's like, but yeah, but you have to acknowledge that he did pass away. So right now we have Detroit up 21-7. Titans and Dolphins. Titans are up 9-3 right now. Um, Off topic, Joe. These two games are boring to watch. That's why I'm streaming. Nah, seriously. Actually, Brian, look, if you looked at SJ's betting board on her Discord, I did give out 4 picks in the NFL. Now the college picks were total garbage, kind of like my horse racing picks on Also Eligible on Saturday, where I went 0 for 4. I just need to see here. And Mike, I see your comment here. I'm going to get to that in a second as well. Damn it, not that one, you dumbass. Yeah, it was a rough day for me today. Um, let's see here. Um, do, 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 do. On Thursday, I gave out my 3 college games. None of them won. None of them covered. I sucked. Um, the NFL, I gave you Atlanta -2.5. I lost that by half a point on there, but if you had played it on Sunday, it dropped to 1.5. You would have won. Because Young Ho, get out of my mind. Young Wei Koo hit a game-winning 58-yard field goal. I gave you the Tennessee. I gave you the Tennessee Titans money line tonight. I gave you Detroit tonight. They're both winning right now, and I gave you Tampa Bay money line. And even though I don't have it in the scroll, I will talk Eagles here in a little bit here. Um, uh, yeah, but I don't know how it's going to work here because I'm not. I don't use the Um, I'm not using um, the I'm not using the Twitch template anymore. I'm using the Evie Mux, and if SJ was here right now, she would know what I mean because I invited her on a couple of weeks ago. Um, I'll talk to you about it offline. So, um, it's just the way that I'm doing things right now because of my other big news, which will be after this second story here. And uh, well, didn't wake up to this, but I came back from the store this morning because I was up early because I had to. Um, well, Mike first said rule number one is ironclad. Rule number two, refer to rule number one. So yeah, Pete Rose. That's exactly why I say Pete Rose shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. But if you make a good argument for it, I'm okay with that. But on to the news of this morning, and um, this guy got Farrah Fawcetted, and Mike definitely saw this. I think I said this on Twitter as well, and I did uh, I was it John Bucci-Gross that used to say what A to B was, C is to D. Like um, what Mike Schmidt was to the Phillies in 1980. Bryce Harper is to the Phillies in 2024. I think it was John Bucci-Gross. And if it was somebody else, then it was somebody else on ESPN. But uh, you know, but I definitely said it on Facebook. I think I said it on X today. What Pete Rose is to Dikembe Mutombo, Michael Jackson is to Farrah Fawcett. What do I mean by that? Michael Jackson and Farrah Fawcett died on the same day. In this case, well, Farrah Fawcett died first, and then Michael Jackson later in the day. And unfortunately, Dikembe Mutombo passed away this morning. That was announced this morning. He died from brain cancer at the age of 58. Once again, way too young. Um, you know, and and in this case with Dikembe Mutombo, you can talk all good things about him because the way that he was as a person. You know, always looking out for other people and stuff like that. And I'll get into that here. Some of the things that are on here. Um, the NBA announced that on Monday. Um, his family revealed 2 years ago he's undergoing treatment in Atlanta for a brain tumor. The NBA said he was surrounded by his family when he died. Um, Adam Silver said Mutombo was simply larger than life. On the court, he is one of the greatest shot blockers and defensive players in the history of the NBA. Off the floor, he poured his heart and soul in helping others. And for every bad person in sports, there's a Dikembe Mutombo, and and he's the type of guy that you know that proves me wrong with the statement that I make is I don't want to really meet too many celebrities because celebrities, athletes, anything of that ilk, because if you know you catch somebody on a bad day, it's like, well, is he having a bad day or is he a total asshole? It's like once again, but you know, like I've met Charles Barkley, and he's a good person. He had his run-ins on the court, but you see him off the court and you talk to him, good dude. I met him, ironically enough, at a bookstore in the early 2000s. Um, I was on the split shift. I decided because we were working in Upper Darby at the time, a suburb of Philadelphia. I decided, you know what, I'm bored. I don't want to go home. I used to go home sometimes if the break was long enough or the break wasn't that long. So I said, I'll go downtown and I peek my head in the bookstore. Charles Barkley's sitting right there. I'm like, oh shit, gotta buy the book. So I bought the book, had him sign it, thanked him for everything he did in Philly, making basketball fun here in this town and all that. And he couldn't thank me enough for it. And good dude. And Dikembe Mutombo was right along those lines as well. Um, um, but Silver also said there was nobody more qualified than Dikembe to serve as NBA's first global ambassador. He was a humanitarian at his core. He loved what the game of basketball could do to make a positive impact on communities, especially in his native Democratic Republic of the Congo and across the continent of Africa. I had the privilege of uh, traveling the world with Dikembe and seeing firsthand how his generosity and compassion uplifted people. He was always accessible at NBA events over the years with his infectious smile, deep booming voice, and signature finger wag that endeared him to basketball fans of every generation. And he played 18 years: Nuggets, Hawks, Sixers, the Nets, the Knicks, the Rockets. And you could tell that this hit hard in the NBA because they're starting to get to training camp here. Um, Joel Embiid said it's a bad day, especially for us Africans and really the whole world, because other than what he accomplished on the court, I think it was even better off the court. Um, um, the mayor of Atlanta, uh, um, Andre Dickens said, like many across the grove, my heart is heavy with the loss of the Atlanta Hawks legend and humanitarian Dikembe Mutombo. I'm grateful for the opportunity to visit him and his wife at their home last month and express the gratitude and pride Atlantans and millions worldwide held for such a truly good man. He's not just a Hall of Famer, he's replaceable. Giannis Antetokounmpo said he was always there to talk to me and advise me how to approach the season, take care of my body. Um, um, Daryl Morey had a statement as well. He said, um, there aren't many guys like him. He's a great human being. When I was a rookie GM in this league, my first chance in Houston, he was someone I went to all the time. His accomplishments on the courts, we don't need to talk about that too much. Just an amazing human being. He did what he did off the court for Africa. Um, uh, Rest in peace to Kembe. His son Ryan said in a tribute, his father loved others with every ounce of his being. My dad was a hero because he simply cared. He remained the purest heart I've ever known. Um, probably, like, and Mutombo was part of the Sixers team in 2001 that got to the NBA Finals. And LeBron joked around. I think when you read it, it's like, why'd you talk about this, LeBron? But in a way, when you have such a sad thing, you try to joke around to a certain extent. He said how Dikembe once broke his face with an elbow, but you have such a humanitarian. Didn't forget where he came from, and it's the yin and yang of this here because not only did we lose Pete Rose tonight, we lost to Kembe Mutombo this morning. So, we talk about all the bad things with Pete Rose that occurred, and we talk about all the good things that Dikembe Mutombo did. So, but unfortunately, both of them passed away. Pete Rose was 83, Dikembe Mutombo was 58, and sadly, um, a great humanitarian has passed away. A great baseball player passed away, but with all the extra baggage as well. Um, do want to do a little sorbet here before I get into the Eagles. Um, I do want to share my screen once again because whoops, hold on. just want to let you guys know that um, I did some testing yesterday. So if you got that alert on Twitch last night, I did do some quick testing. It was like a 5-minute test um, because the Bleacher Brothers Sports Network is coming out very soon. I think it may be next week. Don't quote me on that, but I do want to say here, and Brian probably saw it in the self promo section of SJ's Discord. And let me pull this back up here. Um, Let me zoom in on this so you can read it. I have updated my schedule here, and if you missed the banner at the start of the show, I updated that as well. We have a new schedule effective immediately. Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, we will still be at 9 o'clock. Wednesdays is officially added to the schedule, and those shows will start at 10 p.m. Um, I talked to AJ last month about this because he thought I just wasn't doing Wednesdays anymore. He just thought I wasn't doing Wednesdays. I said, no, I'm doing Wednesdays. It's just that I didn't do them during the summer because I wanted to go to Constadters in the Northeast for concerts and stuff like that. Uh, so Wednesdays will be 10 to midnight. Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays will be at 9 p.m. The reason why is um, the reason why that is because there is a show at 9 o'clock on Wednesdays. I don't want to force them into getting to another time slot because of me. And contrary to what some people will tell you, I am a team player, and I'm okay with starting an hour later because guess what? I can get a couple of things done before the show. I could run to the store. I can get my wash done, which hasn't been done. I was planning on doing it tonight, but I was like, but actually, I planned on doing it this morning, and the next thing I knew, it was like 10:30. I was like, oh shit. But um, but yeah. Um, but you do have that coming up. Um, that's effective immediately, and once we get to the Bleacher Brothers, once we get the Bleacher Brothers Sports Network up and running, and I'll probably talk to AJ about this as well because usually there's a show on Monday nights that have been streaming on there. I guess they didn't do it tonight because I guess AJ thought, well, Joe's streaming. Joe streams on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and he's going to be streaming 4 nights a week. I thought we weren't going to be doing the schedule and streaming like that until um, the app comes out, but maybe I should have streamed onto Bleacher Brothers tonight, and that's fine. You know, things happen sometimes. There's a miscommunication. And I'm sure AJ will say, well, I mean, we're we're very flexible, but but once we get the Bleacher Brothers Sports Network, I'm also going to be streaming to the Bleacher Brothers page as well. So you're going to have me streaming onto two Twitch channels at the same time. It's almost as good as two chicks at the same time. Let me tell you. But I do want to keep my stream going onto Twitch here because we are trying to get to affiliate here. Um, you know, we are, we have two of the three prongs, three of the four prongs, whatever it is. It's just that I don't have the average viewers right now, but it's okay. If I never get to affiliate, that's okay too. I'm just doing it for having fun. But you know, even though we're streaming on YouTube as well as X tonight, the preferred streaming method is on Twitch. So just to let you guys know that. So, but we do stream to all three different places because it's not only about going live and doing it live, it's also about making this available to everybody after the fact, whether it's audio podcast, whether it's Twitch, whether it's X, whether it's YouTube. And there may be a couple more places that we stream as well. So keep an eye out for that as well because, some people may be fans of Twitch, some may be fans of YouTube, some may be fans of X, some may be fans of other platforms that we have. So um send me your email address. Um, whisper that to me on Twitch here. I can send you in here. So, um, yeah, that's fine. I can get into there. And once I get, oh, there we go. Okay, Brian, 1 second. You'll have that email in a second, and you'll have a link that you will click onto. Um, okay, Brian, it's sent. All you gotta do is click the link that'll show up in your Gmail in a couple of seconds. And you just got to make the microphone and um, just make the microphone and camera available. Well, most importantly, the microphone because got to speak. Um, but the other news that I have is um, temporarily I'm going to be going away from this setup here, and the reason why I'm going to do that is because um, Mike in a couple of weeks is going to join me here in Studio 213, and I'm going to be using the dining room table. Mike has seen my two computer setup. He's seen the two screens that I have here. So what we're going to do is I'm going to move the screens, wrap the screens around, and when I wrap the screens around, he'll be on the one computer, I'll be on the other computer in the same room, and we'll be talking back and forth, and hopefully it'll not cancel each other out with the sound and everything like that. Um, but yeah, so uh, but that'll be in a couple of weeks that we'll be doing that. Brian's on here right now. I'm going to add him in a second. So so Mike, since the wife gave the blessing that you're allowed to come over on Monday nights, I will have that squared away for you. Uh, and I got to clean that table, and thankfully my big ass head blocks that. So we got Brian in here, and Brian, how are you, man?
Wait, well, I didn't know that you had a big ass head.
Yeah, I do. It's a five head, you know.
Hmm. I thought that would be more like a 6 head or like a 7 head, if anything.
Well, I do. I am a fountain of useless information.
My lord. As she told me that she's driving home right now.
Okay.
So yeah.
Oh, well,
But
she's not on. She's not watching or anything, right?
no, she's not.
Okay. So I will
So
show you
you're
this.
perfect. You're perfectly fine wearing your Phillies shirt.
No, no,
So
no, no, no. I got something planned.
uh-oh.
Um, if by
Uh
chance, and I'm a glutton for punishment. I said joking around to SJ that if it so happens that it's Phillies and Yankees.
Oh no.
I told her that I want her modeling this in Studio 213 here.
Oh Jesus Christ. What is? I want my fucking trophy.
Now, you don't know the story behind it. My buddy
Oh
Mike
lordy.
does. The main principal owner, John Middleton, he
Mhm.
said this for a few years now that he wants his fucking trophy back. So that's where it comes from, and just you know, it's a joke thing, and the thing is,
Mhm.
with the fact that we have the field set, there is a 1 in 36 chance of the Phillies and the Yankees playing in the World Series. Think about it, because you have 6 options in the National League, 6
Mhm.
options in the American League. So, you know, the chances are that much.
Yep. Now,
But
honestly, when it comes to that, I mean, like when I look at like the lineup, like in itself, I mean, like of course, of course, the Yankees, like they win the what is it, the AL East,
yeah.
and then Cleveland, and then what is it, Cleveland had won like the AL West, so
Mhm.
which was good. Uh, Dodgers and Phillies, congrats to your Phillies.
Thank you.
I think what is it today? Today's like doubleheader game with like the Mets and the Braves. I don't know if you were able to catch it.
I
Uh,
watched both games while I was working.
Dude, funny. So the funniest thing was that like I was watching the game at work. I was watching both games at work. So I was primarily watching like the first game
Mhm.
when Nemo had hit that 3-run homer, got the lead. I was literally so excited. Then it was like the Braves came back and just scored out of nowhere, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, really? This is how it's gonna end?
Mhm.
And then nope, donk. Francisco Lindor, the true MVP of the National League, or of the entire, the entire MLB. Honestly, he is. I mean, he should win MVP in my opinion.
I'll
Uh,
argue Kyle Schwarber, but
I mean, but here's the thing: is that like I think it's that's a
I
little
have a
bit
comment.
that's like a
I
little
have a
bit of
comment for that when you're done.
go answer backs.
All right,
Okay,
you want me to say it right now?
yeah.
Deaths come in threes. Pete Rose, Dikembe Mutombo, and the Arizona Diamondbacks. But anyways,
B- but let me ask you this, Penguin. What happened to the Diamondbacks? They got eliminated. They're no
yeah,
longer there.
I know.
So,
Penguin's good. Penguin's good people. So just to let you know,
and
he's friends of all of us at Bleacher Brothers here. And I rib him, he ribs me. We have fun.
y- I mean, to be honest though, I mean, it would have literally depended on what the situation was going to be like for this series, for this
Hmm.
doubleheader. So, I think if the Mets would have swept both games, then you definitely would have seen the Diamondbacks in there for sure.
Yeah,
And then, the Braves would have been out, which honestly, I would have liked to have seen the Braves like out of the playoffs, and I would have liked to have seen uh like the Diamondbacks in there.
yeah,
And I agree with that. Um, the Diamondbacks, honestly, as a whole, they and I'm pretty sure Penguin could probably agree with me on this. But like their hitting has been pretty good like the entire season, but it was their pitching and their bullpen.
hmm,
It was their pitching and their bullpen that just really couldn't get anything together.
yeah,
I think it was also I don't I don't know whether if there was like any I don't know if like motivation is from like the coaching and all that stuff was another like factor into it, but Yeah, pitching is trash. Yeah,
Yeah.
the pitching is definitely trash, and the bullpen you gotta like the Diamondbacks have to like really figure that out. Um,
And they figured it out last year at the right time. Trust me, I know.
yeah, I mean they did it at the right time, but but at the same time, it's just that there's still so many like so many holes that the Diamondbacks need to need to like make a lot of adjustments to,
Hmm.
and I think as well, there's just I mean there's still a lot of adjustments that that the Mets need to do as well. Um, Now, granted, I am a Mets fan, yes, so but now bias aside, I think this year for the playoffs is going to be interesting for sure. Um, the one thing that I do want to mention, I don't know if you had it in your notes, but um, the the send off for the Oakland A's. Um,
Mm.
I don't know if you got to catch anything of that. That was something that honestly I've never seen a fan base like be so passionate. I mean,
Hmm.
we don't even know what the state of we don't know what the state like of like the Oakland A's is gonna actually be like in the future.
Hmm.
That's the thing. So I
Yeah.
mean, what do you think about that?
Well, the one thing is with the Oakland Athletics, first of all, they were originally Phillies team. Uh, One of two teams in Philly for 50 some years. The one thing I will say is all the other moves in Major League Baseball, they ended up playing at the city that they moved to. Um, they moved to a place where they could play Major League Baseball in right away.
Mm,
They they thought about moving into the new ballpark in Vegas. It only seats about 9-10,000. It's not expandable. They got the okay to go to Sacramento for 3 years, which couple of which to me it gives Sacramento a leg up to potentially get an expansion franchise if they want to go that route because they tried to go that route when they were expanding from 28 to 30, but things fell through with funding or whatever it was.
mhm.
But I'll tell you what. And by the way, SJ just messaged me and said she'll be here in 20 minutes. So the T-shirt is ready. So, uh, but
Oh,
but
that ought to be fun.
but seriously, but when it comes to Oakland, I still don't think they end up in Vegas. I just have that strange feeling. For some reason, I think they don't end up in Vegas for whatever reason. I don't know where, but um, Mike says I need to turn on my air conditioner. No, I like that my electric bill is down this month and will be down next month too. Uh, and besides, with that east wind that's been blowing here on the East Coast for like the last 2 weeks, I actually like that I'm freezing cold when I go to take a piss in the bathroom with the way that my apartment's set up. But anyways, I just think I don't blame the fans for being mad and not showing up. And there was something that I saw today on Facebook, and I didn't share it. I wish I did, so I can maybe even play it.
Mm,
The way that they were talking, there were better ownership offers than what Fisher offered for the Oakland Athletics, but they did approve his deal for whatever reason, and they were trying to get out of Oakland, but it's like it was something that's been going on for 20 years. He allegedly had these deals, and I played the Larry Beal video the other night, and
mm.
he basically dropped the mic on him where the owner was saying, "Oh, I'm available to talk." Well, you never were when they wanted to talk to you. But with everything that was going on, I don't blame the Oakland fans for not showing up. I also got a residual story from this I'm going to get to later about it. That in a way, you don't mess with Vegas. Uh, you know, and and I will turn it into Philly as well. But it's just I just think that any other franchise would have moved like this, and the mayor actually has gave the 29 other owners the records of everything that was going on with this transaction, with all the negotiating and everything like that. I think that they wouldn't have gone to. I don't think they would have approved this move, but because it's Oakland and they wanted to get to Vegas, and Vegas is a brand new market, new in the fact that it was this taboo place because of gambling, and then the Golden Knights went there, and now I will tell you that hockey wagering is about this much compared to the other sports, but then football got in there and things were cool. So now we got two teams. Well, now let's see what we do about baseball. Oakland's going there allegedly, because I still don't think it happens, and eventually we're going to get an NBA team there. It's only a matter of time.
Um, I mean, an NBA team. I I don't know about that. I mean, because what is it? They already have Golden State Warriors, which they're in. Uh, remind me where. Remind me where they are.
They
Uh,
moved from they moved from Oakland to San Francisco a couple years ago.
okay, so they're in San Francisco, and then you also have the L.A. Kings as well, which that's another team there. So you have you have so many different franchises there in Los Angeles. I mean, the fact that Oakland is like 4 hours away from or some kind of distance like that, like
Yeah.
away from like Los Angeles or or any other places like that. I mean, I think it does. If it does make sense to bring them like there uh to like an actual uh team like an actual state like that, then I could definitely see it. But the other thing is just that the money value as well, because you also had to think to yourself, you also have the Angels there,
Hmm.
which the Angels are in Los Angeles, so that you also have the Dodgers. So now it's like you're gonna have a third baseball team there with with like Oakland. But then if you do that, then you would have to rebrand the entire team. And if you rebrand the entire team, then you're gonna have to start basically from the ground up, get newer players, newer ownership, newer everything, and then that's where the whole confusion is just gonna go from, like, congratulations on everything that we did over here, to now it's just, and pardon the French, but you know what the fuck is gonna happen to the future of what Oakland was about before.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
and the one thing I'll say is, they're not moving to LA. They're moving to Las Vegas. But I get your point that they're in the area. Um, but and Mike says the Oakland A's were a proud and dysfunctional family in Oakland, and fans loved it. And they, when they were good, they drew, and they knew a rotting stadium like that was, and the owner allegedly purposely making it that he's not going to put any money into the stadium so he can get out of there.
didn't they make a yeah, they made a movie about the Oakland A's. It was Moneyball.
Moneyball. Hmm.
Yeah. And I remember watching that movie, like, and I was like, "Holy crap, this movie's very good," and all stuff. But then it's like, then you see, like, you get to see a little bit of like the behind the scenes there for what it was like to be an owner and all stuff, like, for that team. But then it's like, when you look at reality now, it's like there's just so much like a bigger difference there now, where it's just the owner doesn't really care about the fans and all that stuff,
Hmm.
but yet the fans really do care about the team. So now it's like, what side are we gonna be on right now? Are we gonna be on the fan side, or are we gonna be, are we gonna stick with like the ownership now?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just literally confusing now. Like, you're gonna be confusing so many fans, and if you do move to Vegas, then are those diehard fans of the Oakland A's uh, that supported that team for a long time, are they going to be able to make that transition over to, you know, to Vegas? And that's where the big disconnect is going to happen, and I think
Yeah.
that's going to be a huge problem.
Yeah.
Uh,
And if you were to ask sports fans in Vegas, they prefer having the new franchise. I mean, they've had both the new franchise with the Golden Knights, they had the moving franchise in the Raiders. They would prefer having what everybody calls a Vegas-born team. And I understand that, and I think what's going to happen is once I think that MLB is not going to announce that they're going to expand to 32 teams until we find out where exactly Oakland ends up, because I don't think they end up in Vegas. I just have that gut feeling.
I have that gut feeling too. I mean, you already have a franchise there in the Oakland in the Raiders, right? In like Vegas Raiders,
Hmm.
which when they first started there in Vegas, you saw the hesitation from people. How are we gonna how are we gonna like be football fans and all stuff in Vegas? And then look at where that franchise is now.
Hmm.
I mean, it now granted it did take years for fans to get accustomed to it, but look at where it's at now. I mean, this franchise now is going pretty well. The only thing that they're going to be waiting for now is when are we going to get a Super Bowl? When are we going to ever win a Super Bowl?
Hmm.
Well, you need to figure out your roster, you need to figure out everything there, and then that way you can make those adjustments there. But I mean, it's it's just going to be a little bit confusing now on how everything's going to be with Oakland and all that stuff moving to Vegas. It's definitely going to be confusing for sure, but I I do agree with you. I just don't think they move to Vegas. If they do stay somewhere nearby, it would probably have to be. I mean, they can stay in Oakland, but you would just have to do
Hmm.
a lot of remodeling with everything.
And I
Oh.
think I think what they're going to do is if they do go back to Oakland, it's going to be with new ownership. And if it
Mhm,
is, they'll be able to work out a new stadium deal, because I think new owners will be able to have better negotiations with the city, the county, the state to, if they want to go the funding route, they will
mhm,
do it. Whereas, like for example, the Sixers want to build a new arena downtown, which a lot of people are criticizing, because you have Chinatown a block and a half away. They don't want it there because they've actually forced the Phillies to stay in South Philly, which, thank you for doing that. Also, um, the neighborhood, which is a couple of blocks the other way, they don't want the Sixers building in Center City. I mean, I'm like, but but the only difference is with the Sixers deal right now with the city is that the owners for the Sixers are paying all of the arena. They're not asking for any funding whatsoever.
mhm.
But
They're basically letting all the funding be from the fan base itself. The fans are literally providing the funding for that organization.
yeah.
And And I think that's where the key is. You have a financial, you have financial growth from your fan base, then then that's a franchise that you're going to be supporting like there's no tomorrow. If there's no money like incoming from that fan base anymore, then that's where you're losing all credibility there. You're losing
Hmm.
all hope. You're losing your trust. And once you lose that trust from your fan base, then that's where everybody just starts dipping out completely. And that's where you're seeing all the videos and whatnot of just, fire the ownership, fire this, fire that, and, sell the team completely. That's where you have that whole chaos coming in. And that
Yeah.
chaos is going to erupt to the point where it's just going to be like the Dark Knight Rises, where everybody is just going to be rioting like there's no tomorrow
Hmm.
until something is actually proven that they can say, all right, we're going to be doing this in a way that can actually help out the franchise. And if we can't do this correctly, just trust us. Trust the process. But we can't
Don't say
trust.
those words ever again.
Exactly.
But I know what you mean.
I know. Yeah. If you don't trust, if you don't trust the ownership, if you don't trust anybody there, then the more words that you put out there, they may listen or they may just ignore you completely.
Yeah.
And that's where that huge disconnect is. They, I mean, they don't really pay attention to their fan base, and their fan base is basically saying, "Hey, we want this to happen. Why aren't you letting this happen?
Yeah.
You don't give a shit about us.
Hmm.
That's why we're pissed."
Here's a good question from my buddy Mike here. Ask Brian if he is sick of sports being a business as I am. What happened to caring about the fans?
I am actually tired of it being a business, honestly. I am. I mean, look, as as a sports fan, as a fan of sports, right? And I love watching every single like brain of sporting whatsoever. I love watching basketball, baseball, football, hockey. I love watching all of that. I mean, shit, I even like watching horse racing from like time to time.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, it's because of this gentleman right here.
Hmm. Thank you. And
So,
uh, and
I,
just to let you guys know, I do have an article that I'm going to be talking about tomorrow. Um, Mike has an idea what's been going on locally with the track here at
mm,
Parks.
mm.
I got some more in-depth stuff about that, which I will do tomorrow.
Oh, nice. But yeah, to answer your question, I do hate, I do, I am sick and tired of it being a business. I mean, if you want it to be business run, I mean, and I hate to bring this up, but watch the Vince McMahon documentary on Netflix. He literally treated it as a business first
Hmm.
and foremost, but yet everybody wants to watch wrestling, to be entertained by it. He
Yeah.
literally just did everything business wise, and he said everything was for business, and That's why I hate seeing everything like as a business point of view. I want to be able to watch things as a fan and say, and get some kind of like, you know, emotional value out of it, but you can't give me anything emotional value if you're going to sign players for all these different contracts and all that stuff, and then next thing those players that you want, that you love, that you buy your like their jerseys and all that stuff
Hmm.
are going to literally be gone after maybe after what, 2 years, 3 years.
Yeah.
and then it's like, what, like, who am I supposed to, what jersey am I supposed to buy now? You know, it, like, I I want to support my team. I want to be able
Hmm.
to support all of these things, but I never look at anything from a business thing view. I look at
Yeah.
everything as a sports fan, and that's why I said earlier, these organizations, every sporting organization needs to pay attention to their fans, pay attention to what they're saying, to what they actually care about. Because if you don't, then you're gonna be in the ground like there's no
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
I mean, case in point, and to revolve this around sports and all, like around like baseball and all stuff, right? Like, I mean, let's look at like the playoffs now, right?
Hmm.
The MLB playoffs. These are teams that literally uh like played their hearts out because they want to make it, they want to make it this far. These are teams that want to be in the playoffs. These are teams that want to continue in the playoffs. I mean, this is why we love watching sports. We want to support these teams, and we
Yeah.
want these teams to make it far into the playoffs. We want them to make it far in general.
Yeah. Exactly.
I mean,
A-
yeah.
and the one good thing about the main managing partner or the main owner of the Phillies, John Middleton, is um, he knows how important winning is to this town.
Hmm.
And one of the games last week, I don't know if it was the Tuesday night game where the Phillies had their hangover game or the
Hmm.
Wednesday game where me and Mike were at. I
Yeah.
saw that John Middleton was sitting amongst the crowd
Hmm.
during a game and taking pictures with the fans and stuff like that. So he 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 knows he's he's teetering with the business aspect and also the fan aspect here. So you do have a guy in John Middleton that is doing like that, and we've also had owners in Philadelphia like Norman Brayman, which was bottom line. I want to make money. I don't give a shit about the product on the field, and Mike knows about that all too well as well. And the only reason why I mentioned Norman Brayman is because I ended up on Instagram Reels or Facebook Reels, and next thing I knew, we were talking about the Bounty Bowl game where they were throwing snowballs at every cowboy on the field after the game.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's but me and Mike know about um, the good owners, the bad owners, the indifferent owners, and um, and Mike says thanks for that answer as
Yeah.
well. So
Of course.
and yeah, and Mike also knows all about. He says first of all thanks, and then we all know about the good owner and bad owner situation with Norman Brayman many years ago, and also the good part with John Middleton being amongst the crowd. Now, I don't think he'll be amongst the crowd. The team goes 62 and 100, but he
Hmm.
will be. He is amongst the crowd, especially now. But
Now, uh, now let me ask you this: Do you think that Jeffrey Lurie for the Eagles is a good owner, or do you think he's on the uh like a little bit on like the side of like the bit of like how do I really put it?
if he's more business than
Yeah,
fan friendly,
if he's business more than fan friendly.
um, I mean, I think he is a business guy also because he got his money from the movie industry. But I think he hears what the fans are saying. Because, like for example, he brought back the Kelly Green jerseys, which I about. Uh, but I think he knows the pulse of the city. He knows what the Eagles are like because he was originally a Patriots fan, and before he bought the Eagles, I don't think the Patriots have won many, if any, Super Bowls until he bought. No, that's right. He was here in the late '90s. They didn't win a Super Bowl. The Patriots didn't win a Super Bowl until after he owned the Eagles, so he knows what uh, a starving franchise is like, hoping to win a championship. The Eagles hadn't won since 1960. The Patriots had never won a Super Bowl. At least the Eagles won an NFL championship pre-Super Bowl. But I think he knew what it was. But I think he also knows that he has to run as a team. But I think in some ways, he gets out of the way when it comes to being an owner and running the team, but he does run in certain aspects as well. I think he does do some things. He gives a state of the team address every year after every year. So there is little things that he does do, but I think, and I may be totally wrong as well. And if you're an Eagles fan watching, especially on X, and you think I'm wrong, then I admit I'll be wrong. But I just think that he does step in when he has to, but he also knows that Howie Roseman will run the team from from signing players, trading players, all that stuff. Nick Sirianni will coach the team, whereas we know that Nick Sirianni's on the hot seat, but he also sees what goes on in Dallas, where Jerry Jones has his fingerprints all over everything.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to be a Jerry Jones type. I think he's like somewhere in the middle between not giving a shit and giving too much about it. So I think he's another guy that's in the middle that knows about the team history and everything like that. He knows about the importance of a team, but he knows how to run a business too. So it's walking that fine line as well.
Yeah. I mean, the only other owner that I could think of that is more business heavy uh, than he is actually about the fans is Jerry Jones.
Hmm.
Jerry Jones is honestly like the prime example of it. I mean, he's very business heavy first, then and then what happens afterwards? You
Hmm.
know, okay, you bring in all these different managers and all stuff. You bring in everybody else,
Hmm.
but you're not really listening to what the fan base is asking for. You're not listening to anything there. He's very business centric of like, okay, we need to do this and this and this and this and this in this specific way. And that's how we're going to do everything right. And we're going to generate a lot of money from it.
Yeah.
No, it's not. No, it's not. I mean, Dan Snyder's a close second.
Well, Dan Snyder was just an asshole because he got himself into trouble in so many different ways.
Yeah, that's true. Um, was the you mentioned about the Patriots owner. Who was it that took over as a Patriots owner? Um,
Robert Kraft.
Robert Kraft. There you go.
Well, he was the one that had the crafty at Orchids of Asia.
I thought you were gonna say Kraft mac and cheese, but that would have been
Well,
funnier.
he allegedly did have some cheese at the end, but allegedly,
Allegedly.
yeah. I think it was a cloud of dust actually, but because what is he like 90?
I think so. Yeah.
By the way, Eagles play Cleveland after the bye week this week. My goal is to get banned by Cleveland Browns Twitter next week.
Oh please! I would love to see that.
Oh, trust me.
Honestly, I look as much as I I respect you, and I've known you for a little bit now. Well, it's what? It's been 2
Couple
years
years.
actually. Yeah, a
Yeah.
couple of years actually that I've known you. Like that would be the funniest thing I would ever see. I would die of laughter if I saw that.
And Mike knows already what picture I am going to post.
Oh no.
Mike already knows.
Oh no. Well,
There is
you could show it to me afterwards.
yeah. There is a massage parlor
Oh no.
literally around the corner from my office, even though I work from home. If I had to go back into the office, I see it twice a day up the street to get to my office and down the street so I can get the train home. Mike knows exactly what it is, and I will save that for later. But I might even shared it on Twitch the one time. But it is I have the picture ready to go,
You would
and
have to
I know
show it
I know
for like a
exactly what I'm
split
going to
second.
say. I'm sorry.
You would have to show it for like a split second, depending on how inappropriate the picture is.
It's not that inappropriate, but
Mm.
it's. I mean, if there was ever a place that screamed massage parlor, it's this place. I mean, you know, you. I mean, some of these places you see, it doesn't scream massage parlor with like just the signage on there, like the actual signage on the building. Because
Mm.
there is a place a couple of blocks away from me that Mike will say, "Have you been there?" And I will say no, because knowing my luck, I go there. I'm the person that has to call him to bail me out because guess what? I pick the lucky day that they get raided. That's why I do not go to massage parlors. Okay, it's not that I don't want a happy ending. It's just that I know if I go, I go the day that they get busted, and that's why I don't go. I talk a good game, but I will not walk in there just because of the busting factor, and not busting in another way, but getting busted by the police.
Hey yo, hey
So
yo.
many innuendos, and somebody isn't here to laugh her ass off with
Settle down.
that.
Settle
Yeah,
down.
but that's and now Mike is going to be saying the next time he comes up here, will you point out where that massage place is? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, yeah. I'll tell you the exact address and all stuff. I mean, even then, I'll even show you where it is. We can go there together, and we can go outside of the building, if anything, not go inside of it.
And as a friend, I would bail you out after I laugh my head off. But I
uh,
mean, but then again, I don't have many other people to bail me out within Philadelphia. I mean, you know,
eh.
I couldn't contact you. I sure as hell wouldn't contact SJ because she'd be like too busy laughing her ass off at it to even care about coming down here to bail me out or anything like that. But you get the idea.
I mean, I don't think she
And
would
if
want to
and if
go to
she came
jail
walking
in
in,
general.
and if she just came walking into the chat right now, even though
Mm.
she hasn't responded yet, because I see the viewership is up to 4 here, I guarantee you she's like, "What the hell are you talking about with Brian?"
You know what? There's a lot of things that we can talk about,
Mhm,
but yeah. I mean, massage
mhm.
parlors. We can talk about that afterwards.
Yeah,
Off
yeah, yeah, yeah. But
Oh, man.
it's just I'm just well, I don't think it was her. She got bumped out or whatever, but we went back down to 3 viewers on Twitch.
Eh.
Only because you see the platform that I have on here right now.
Mhm.
I can see right now the number of people on YouTube, on X, and on Twitch at the moment.
Oh, wow.
So I can see all three at the same time.
Hello to everybody.
I don't see the names, but I see the
Yeah.
numbers.
Hello to everyone on X and on
Yeah.
YouTube's. Hello,
Hmm.
everyone.
Yeah.
Oh. Hopefully, you guys are
So
getting or enjoying some decent content out of this. So,
yeah, and
Mhm.
this is why I am the 9 to 11 guy on Bleacher Brothers. Once that app is available, I think it's going to be next week. Don't quote me on that,
Mhm.
but that's why
Mhm.
we're that's why I'm adding Wednesdays and I'm doing 10 to 12 because uh, the golf show that they do on Wednesday nights, I'm letting them have the 9 o'clock spot because it was a bit of a miscommunication with AJ, but you know what? So what? I can run to the store. I can you know do a load of wash. Whatever I have to do. But this Wednesday I'm off, so I can relax all day or move everything around. Or you were saying about jerseys, for example.
Mhm.
There's that Jason Kelsey Phillies jersey right there.
Which honestly, I that's the one jersey. That's the one jersey that I would actually like secretly like. I would rock the hell out of that.
Hmm.
I would definitely rock the hell
And
out of
and
that.
it was
I
a
mean,
conversation starter when we had our little mini reunion at the Phillies game over the summer.
because honestly, if there was ever a player that I've actually enjoyed watching, is Jason Kelsey.
Hmm.
I mean, it's just like I think what is it? I had watched the documentary um about Jason Kelsey and all this stuff, and I think like
Yeah.
that documentary, honestly, I thought was so well done, and it literally got me like I get I basically gained a lot of respect for him,
Hmm.
because yeah, like once he got older and all this stuff,
Hmm.
yeah, like you could definitely tell that it was taking a toll on
Yeah.
him. Um, but
And I will tell you one thing.
mhm.
Back in 2008, we had this.
World champion. World fucking champions. World.
Whoops. And if you heard that, that was Chase Utley after the parade at Citizens Bank Park on Halloween after the
Mhm.
Phillies won the World Series. Well, I'm not going to play that Jason Kelsey video from the parade after Super Bowl 52, but we played it once or twice before, and you can find it on YouTube. He basically said, "Hold my beer, motherfucker."
Mhm.
He did,
Mhm.
and you know,
Yeah,
it,
it's
it was.
definitely it was definitely one of those speeches that will live in infamy,
Hmm.
honestly.
Yeah. And I'm trying to figure out if the Phillies win the World Series this year, who's going to play the role of Jason Kelsey or Chase Utley.
uh, I don't know. I don't know. Well,
Now,
that's if
I did say if, I didn't say when.
yeah,
So let me put that on record.
yeah, I was gonna say that's a big if
Hmm.
they win the World Series, but um, honestly, in your opinion, who do you think can win the World Series?
Um, this is a wide open year. Um, truthfully, I would not be surprised by any of the 36 combinations. Um, I like Detroit in the American League.
Hmm.
And part of the reason why is I see the 22 Phillies in them, where they came out of nowhere
Hmm.
and they ended up getting into the playoffs and they were a hot team at the right time. Now, granted, I don't like that they have to play Houston, but but in the National League, you can argue probably 5 of the 6 teams. I mean, you can even argue Atlanta, even though they're the team I least expect to win
Mm.
because they've been so banged up all year. But you can argue the Mets, you can argue the Phillies, you can argue Milwaukee. They got great pitching. LA, you can argue them, but you say, well, they've always seemed to shit the bed in the divisional round. And then you got San Diego, who came back to life this year.
I think honestly that series between Milwaukee and the Mets, I think that's gonna be a good series. But then the winner of that series they're gonna have to play against Philly, no matter what.
Yeah.
I mean, but either way, I mean, if you look at it realistically, I would think honestly from the NL, like from like the National League, I would say if I want two of the like two out of those 6 teams to make it through, I would most likely say mm, I honestly I would like to see San Diego and the Mets like move on to like that NL championship.
Hmm.
I mean, you can make an argument for Philly as well, or you can make an argument for the Dodgers. Uh, but even then, if let's just say hypothetically, right? You know, the Mets win against the Brewers. They beat they win against them. They go against Philly. That series against Philly. I mean, you've even noticed. I mean, you've even watched like I don't know how many of like the games, like the series and all stuff, like between the Mets and the Phillies this season.
Yeah.
Like they're they're equally matched as far as pitching goes, and when it comes to hitting as well. So they're very equally matched. It could definitely be a very interesting series. The winner of that series is definitely going to have to move on and try to get better.
Hmm.
I mean, I would like to see the Mets versus the Dodgers, or maybe Dodgers versus the Padres. That could definitely be an interesting series. Now,
Dodgers would play the Padres in the divisional round.
yeah.
I just filled out my bracket. That's why I know.
um it would definitely be interesting to see who comes out of like the National League, honestly.
Hmm.
Um the American League is just so hard to choose from, honestly. It's so hard to choose cuz I know the New Yorker in me and all stuff,
Hmm.
and I know, you know, speaking for SJ here, I know she would like to see the Yankees move on,
Hmm.
but
And I want to see Phillies Yankees.
yeah, um, but I mean, if I was a betting, I mean, I am a betting man,
Hmm.
but I wonder what the odds would look like if it was Yankees versus Mets World Series. I wonder what the odds would look like for that to happen. Cuz that would break New York in general.
Hmm.
It would be like the biggest fight ever between who's better, like the Yankees or the Mets. That would be funny.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm trying to look something up right now.
mhm.
Playoff specials. They have all these who will go further, this team or that team.
Are
Uh,
you looking on FanDuel?
I'm on DraftKings at the moment.
Okay.
Um,
Wow, because on FanDuel they have the Mets to win like plus 2,300 to win the World Series.
yeah, they're plus 2,000.
Yeah. Um.
Phillies are plus 475. Dodgers are the favorite, plus 360. Yankees 425. Uh,
Now, if you combine Yankees and Mets, like to win the American League and the National League, if you combine both of them together, that's plus 3,500. That is
Yeah.
that's insane, honestly.
Yeah, because the one thing I'm looking for, and you get it at the beginning of the year, but you don't get it this time of the year.
Mm,
What I'm looking for, and I'm going through all my apps here.
mm.
League winner, league winner. Well, the National League has the finalists here. NLCS named the finalists. Well, mine is the second favorite right now, but I won't tell you what that is. Well, it's Phillies Padres, but I'm not
Yeah.
finding the. Let me see here.
Yeah, let me take a look at DraftKings as well, just for shits and giggles to see
No,
what.
because the one thing I'm trying to find is the World Series matchup. Who would be the favorite, like the favorite matchup?
Mm,
But player specials, awards,
playoff special.
league winners. Yeah, they don't have what I'm looking for. Well, then I'm going now to Bet365, which, by the way, is available in Pennsylvania now, Mike.
Wow, Bet 365 is available in there. Jesus,
No,
that's.
I only say that because when I first got Bet365 back in May, we were up at the Meadowlands,
Mm,
and I said, okay, I'll get it, but after the couple of days that we're here in New Jersey, I'm gonna have to take the money out because Bet365 you can't bet in Pennsylvania.
mm.
Well, over the last couple of months, they went into a partnership with Presque Isle Downs in Erie, Pennsylvania, so they now have their app here in Pennsylvania. So
Ah, ah.
futures, World Series. No.
I'm surprised that they're doing 3 games starting tomorrow. Yeah, they're doing 3 games starting tomorrow for like the wild cards. So you have what is it? The Braves and Padres at 8:30.
Mhm.
You have Detroit and Houston at 2:30. You have Mets and Brewers at 5:30, and then you also have the Royals and the Orioles
Mhm.
at 4.
Yeah.
That's gonna be very interesting.
Yeah. Things get a little complicated because you had the doubleheader today, and you had the teams traveling tonight to get to the different stadiums. By the way, I did find what I'm looking for here on Bet365 at least.
Hmm.
My World Series, which is the Phillies over the Detroit Tigers,
Hmm.
is plus 6,500 right now.
Really?
Mhm.
And you said that's on Bet365?
Yeah.
Let me see. Well, let me download
Well,
Bet365.
actually, do you have that app beforehand? Have
Um.
you? Because if you have not signed up for it, and this is a tip for anybody who is listening or watching right now, if you're looking to open up a new sportsbook account, go to bleacherbrothers.com. We have all our at the Bleacher Bet section. You have all our offers there. You have um, Bet365, you have BetMGM, you have Caesars, you have DraftKings, you have FanDuel, and you also have Rebet as well, which is kind of a social sportsbook app than the others, um, but 365 does have a promotion on there as well. Um, it,
Oh.
I mean, if you don't have that app, I mean, if you haven't signed up for Bet365, for example,
Mhm.
all the all the links are on the main page or on the Bleacher Bet portion of the site. So just to let everybody know about that, not just you. So
Gotcha. Let me see. Futures. Let me see futures. Well, it only said to win outright game and series double. Is that what you had looked at? Game and series double, or
MLB. If you go under MLB, you go to futures,
Mhm.
where it says to win. The drop down says to win outright.
Mhm.
If you go to, where did I go to?
Division of series winners.
No. To win outright, to win league. No. I just had it here. Hold on. Final exact forecast is where I was looking at.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And that gives you all the combinations of who would win.
Oh my lord. That would be okay. So New York Mets to beat the Yankees is plus 6,000.
Mhm.
The New York Mets to beat the Houston Astros is plus 10,000.
Mhm.
The Mets to beat the Detroit Tigers is plus 32,500.
Mhm.
That is insane.
Mhm.
Wow. Okay, that is incredible. Oh, you don't need to be a resident of Pennsylvania, but you must be located there at the time to play.
Well,
Oh.
I think Bet365 is available in New York State.
Okay.
But there's a promotion on BleacherBrothers.com for
Mm.
everybody except Pennsylvania. And I think there may be one for Pennsylvania itself as well.
Mm. I'm trying to remember what my thing was for this app. I'm trying to remember what my account was because I remember having an email address and all that stuff.
Let's see. Mike says so. The gist of the World Series would be the team with the best record, or host. That's been sitting there for a couple of minutes. I'm not sure what Mike meant by that. But the way Bet365 is, that thing there, which I have not seen on the other apps right now, just to let Mike know, it's like, well, what's the final outcome? Who are the two teams? Who's going to be the winner? Who's going to be the loser? And that's what I showed you there.
Yeah.
Asking a general question. So just World Series, a general question. So just the World Series would be the team with the best record. The team with the best record host. Yeah. LA has home field throughout. They're the number one overall. Technically, the Phillies are number two overall. They have the second best record in baseball. So I think that's what Mike was asking.
Yeah, I think what is it?
And if Mike doesn't, and if I'm not answering that question, Mike, okay, I was. Damn it. I was gonna tell you no understando English.
Me no understand English. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Yep.
Oh my lord.
But
Let me see what
it's
the
35-27 in Detroit right now.
Yeah, I think the Titans and Dolphins game finished up.
Yeah. Let me
Which
see here.
which that's another thing is that I mean I want to get both your opinion and Mike's opinion as well. Do you guys agree with this two game like 2-game like Monday night football thing that they have going on now. I
I,
personally don't like it.
I don't like it, but you know, sorry I had to yawn there, but
You-
I don't really like it, but you know, but in a way, it takes away from your team if your team really sucks.
Mhm.
You know, um, but yeah, I don't like. I mean, I like the traditional one Monday night game.
Yeah.
I prefer that. Mike
I
doesn't like it either.
yeah, I don't like it either, and it's like if you have like one game on TV and all that stuff, right?
Hmm.
You would have to put on like ESPN, uh like watch ESPN and all that stuff,
Hmm.
like on your computer and all that stuff to be able to watch like the other game, and that's where it's just like I I'm just like, I'm sorry, NFL, but this 2-game thing, whatever, for this is just stupid.
I know.
It's really stupid.
Well,
Come on.
the one thing Mike has seen by being in this apartment is I have that TV right behind me.
Mm.
Um,
Above.
while I was working, well, you can't really see it because it's half a screen right now, but I have a TV right over there, and that's hooked up to an antenna because Mike knows for a fact because of the cable box I have, and because it's going to 4K, it just takes forever to transmit onto the screen. It's just the data of it that causes it to be forever.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the I can tell you yesterday I had the Eagles game on the TV on the floor there. I
Mm-hmm.
had the red zone on the TV next to my work computer, and I'm working while both were going on.
Mm.
So, um,
That looked like an aggressive yawn.
sorry.
Or
I
it
and I'm
looked like
also
you were doing like a poop face when you were doing that yawn.
I was trying not to yawn. The coffee has worn off on me, but I'm just looking at my fantasy football. I do have a 4-0 team right now on one of my ESPN teams,
Mm.
which, one ESPN team I had, I went 13-1 in the regular season and lost in the playoffs because everybody was fucking hurt.
Mm.
Let me look at sleeper here. I am 1-3 in SJ's Raw Dog League.
Hey yo.
Hey, in the massive meaty league, I took an L there too.
Hey yo.
Well, that was that was the name that I created because it goes back to a Preston and Steve thing where the one co-host was
Mm.
mentioning how she saw on her cable bill that somebody rented massive meaty men, but nobody would admit to it. And my third league, which is an offshoot of the offshoot of Action Labs. I am destroying a guy by 80 some points here, so I'm 3-1 in that league too. So
I thought you were gonna stop there immediately and just say I almost destroyed a guy, and I was gonna be like, wait, what? Huh?
well, I had a woman destroy me almost this morning or this afternoon.
Huh?
I
Huh?
was in the afterblast of her farting down the fucking stairs.
No. How powerful of a fart are we talking? How powerful of a fart are we talking?
Well, I think it was something where I live on the second floor and I was in the basement because I was loading up my laundry card.
Mhm.
It did seem like it was more residual than full blast, but it did seem a little stale, but I know it was her.
So there was no girth to it whatsoever. There was just no like.
Oh,
There was no like.
thankfully I live on the second floor, not on the third, because it probably started in the hallway.
Oh my god. So I could just imagine if she did that and it was like and it crop dusted you.
Yeah. Oh, and I
That
had the and I had and that's what I get for having the courtesy of being a gentleman and realizing she's going out the door as I was coming up the stairs. I hit the landing for the first floor. I said, "Go ahead." No, being courteous and all that, even though two people could walk up and down the stairs at the same time. Uh, Mike will bring some air freshener when I see you. Um, but I will tell you one thing. It's not as bad as the fat guy that used to live here.
oh
I
no.
We had this fat guy. He had to weigh at least 500 pounds. I
Oh
don't know.
no.
I don't know what happened to him because I haven't seen him in months. I haven't smelled him in months. I don't know. I don't know if he A died or B ended up in a nursing home or anything like that. I don't know what the story is, so
Mhm.
I don't know what it is. But a year ago, and Mike, it was not me, so don't say a fucking word about it. Somebody, and I took a picture of it, but it wasn't me that did this. Somebody put an air freshener in the corner of the elevator
Oh
to kill
no.
the stench from him.
Oh wow.
And it wasn't me. I will tell you right now. I thought it was funny that somebody did it. Now, I would have personally handed him a bar of soap and ran like hell, hoping he had a heart attack chasing after me. But
I could just imagine all of this happening right now.
Mike thinks I'm guilty. God damn it.
I mean,
No,
and
and Mike,
I,
Mike, from my coming home on SEPTA how I always complained about those goddamn drivers who put those air fresheners. I mean, and they were the smelliest ones, and they put them right on the air vent, so that it goes wafting all the way to the back of the bus. And I'm getting a headache from this shit because it is. I mean, it is a pleasant fruity smell. It's this weird fruity smell. It's like, no, I don't want to smell that shit. I rather smell. I would rather smell a bum like I've had to from time to time on a Saturday or Sunday morning going to work because they purposely strategically sit right in the middle of that train car so that they can stink out the entire car. But we've gone off the rails so badly tonight. And
yeah.
thankfully we are not on the Bleacher Brothers Sports Network right now because if that app was available right now, I would be cutting it off right now because we are at 2 hours. But since we're not, fuck it, we can go as long as we want.
Fuck it, we're doing it live. I'm gonna write it and we'll do it live.
Yeah, I got to get my sound drops on here because I need to. They give me 6 drops I can use. The only one really worth playing is this.
Yes.
I have to replace this with the Price is Right loser horn. I have to replace that.
Oh.
But, maybe I should keep this so that when somebody hops on, but other than that, nothing really worth.
Other than that.
Yeah.
Oh my lord. Oh man.
Yeah.
This is fun. This is so fun.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I'm guaranteed to go off the rails at some point in the show. It's just that I have to learn to get it back on the rails enough that I can close in 2 hours. Because I don't know if anybody's going to be coming after me once we go onto the Bleacher Brothers Sports Network. But you know,
Avon, is that you? Nunny?
Avon lady calling.
You know what? We should do. We should do some prank phone calls sometime, and you should just use that voice changer, like that voice that you just did. That would be
but
funny as hell.
but you know what? The one thing is with caller IDs and all these scam calls that call now,
Hmm.
I can tell you, and Mike knows what I'm talking about, but I don't think he had to deal with reverse number lookups like I do, and I shouldn't be talking about my job, but I'm trying to be a little vague with this, but it's a little hard, and that's what she said. Um, the thing is,
It
well, so
definitely is what she said.
well, so and so called me and blah blah blah. Well, what do you mean it's not in the files? It came up on my caller ID. Well, I don't know. All I can tell you is that it's not in our files. Well, you're not helping. Okay, talk to the supervisor. But like for example, I got a scam call from a 771 area code, and I think it was on my day off, so
Mm.
I just Googled 771 area code. Did you know that Washington D.C. has a second area code now?
Really?
I didn't know about it until the other day.
My lord. No, there was a time where I'm with my grandma. Uh, may she rest in peace. Uh, but I remember this one time that she got one of those like pop ups and all the stuff like on her computer,
Mm-hmm.
and and she just goes, Brian, Brian, like
Mm-hmm.
help me. So I'm like, okay. So I go over to help her out and all stuff. And then next thing you know, it was like, hey, she just tells me like I don't know what to do, like I don't know what to do, blah blah blah. Like can you call this phone number and all that stuff and see uh like see what's going on and all that stuff. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
okay. So I called up the phone number, and then next thing you know, it was like, oh, like thank you for calling this or whatever, like this and this and this. My name is Jeff. Like, how can I help? And the guy had an accent to him.
Hello, my name is Jeff.
Yeah.
You
So
just did.
then, so then I'm like, I'm like talking like a little like professional at first and all that stuff. And I'm like, hey, like I'm calling on behalf of my grandma and all that stuff. Like, she got a pop up on her computer and all that stuff saying that there's a virus and all that stuff. Blah blah blah. Need to know what to do. And then they just go, well, do you have like are you in front of her computer and all that stuff? And then I just went, let me check, hold on, just to look. And I'm just like messing around with him
Mm-hmm.
for like 10 minutes straight, just like I had myself on loudspeaker and I'm just like shuffling through everywhere and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So then 10 minutes later, he's just like, hello, can you hear me? And then just starts speaking like another language.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, and then I just went on the phone in like as an old woman and all this stuff, and just went, hello. And he just went, yes ma'am, how can I help you? And then I just went, listen, I'm having a problem with my computer and I don't know what to do. And he just goes, so are you in front of your computer right now? And I just went,
Yes, I am, but my computer's closed right now, and I don't know what to do.
So then at that point he just goes, okay, can you open up your computer, ma'am, and go onto a specific website? And then I told him, and I was like,
Okay, hold on 1 second. Sonny, can you help me fix this computer, please?
and I swear to God, this whole entire phone call lasted for like 45 to 50 minutes, and my grandmother is just looking at me, just like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And then it was at that point where I like I'm uh, um I'm going from like my grandma voice to then changing over to like my voice, and I'm like, yeah, grandma, what's going on?
Man, this son of a bitch on the phone does not know how to fix my computer. Can you fix it for me?
Yes, grandma, I will. And then I pick up the phone, and I'm like, okay, I'm in front of my computer, and he just starts speaking in Hindi and all that stuff,
Mhm.
like over to like his buddies. And then I just went, I thought you were American, Jeff. And he just goes, yes, yes, sir, I am. I'm from Washington D.C. And then I just went, so you mean to tell me that you didn't just speak Hindi right now? And he just goes, I'm sorry. Yeah, you just spoke Hindi right now. And I was like, are you really from like Norton and all this stuff, or like from from like these companies? Hung up the phone,
Mhm.
and then never called again.
Mhm.
And it was and I just thought and I looked over at my grandmother, and I just said, "Grandma, you're welcome. Stop the fuck stop the fucking scam call from happening." So,
Mhm.
yeah.
Mhm.
Stopped her from getting spammed and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
and I know. Uh, Hello, my name is Emilio Montoya. You broken egg. Prepare to fry.
Hello, my name is Emilio Montoya. You broke an egg. Prepare to fry.
Yeah, so that's
Emilio Montoya. Mm.
yeah. So um, yeah. So yeah. I mean, I never. I just let them go to voicemail. Even like one of my friends called me and he had a new phone number. It just went to
Mm.
voicemail. It's like, hey, it's so and so. I'm like, oh shit, I gotta call him back. But
Mm.
I just let it go to voicemail. Mike knows I work certain hours and everything, and if it goes to voicemail, it goes to voicemail. I'll get back to you. And the way I am with voice messaging, with leaving me a message, if you call me twice, but now that both my parents are gone, that
Mm.
rule doesn't really apply anymore.
Mm.
But I basically said, hey, uh, uh,
You never called me back.
well, because when you do call me, I answer. But I,
Allegedly.
I do text.
Allegedly.
But Mike also knows the type.
Allegedly.
Mike also knows how these people get under my skin and how I just don't like to talk on the phone. Period. Once I'm off the clock.
Mm. Mm.
I mean, today was a bad day with these people. Let me tell you. But I
Mm.
won't get into details because I'm not getting myself into trouble. I'm not losing that nest egg that I told Mike about. Um, Mike, you have an idea, but we were talking about it leaving the Phillies game when I was making a reference about some of the things that I do say, which I won't say because I'm not giving my employer redacted company any fuel. Not Give Me
Oh.
Fuel, Give Me Fire, whatever it is that Metallica does. But
Give me
you know
fuel,
what I.
give me fire, give me that one to the side. Ooh,
But I did say something about it on Wednesday when we were leaving the Phillies game. But today was bad. Today was bad because Mike's messing with me like he always does.
Of
So,
course he does. Of course he does.
I mean, we've known each other for 25 years. Worst 25 years of his life.
Wow.
We used to work together.
You guys.
He quote unquote retired, and every year we have a retirement package at my job, and I told him, I said, every year it gets tougher and tougher because it's $50,000 to sign. It's $2,200 a year for 25 years now, and then you get a little bit of extra money for some sort of expense. So it's bordering around $105,000 to $115,000 to leave the company. Now, granted, it's not enough to survive, but they do pay it over 4 years, so that's what makes it unlivable. But also the fact that I do have a pretty nice pension that Mike knows about, that I told him about last week. So, so I'm trying to protect the nest egg, as I call it.
Ah, gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
And if this Bleacher Brother thing really takes off, then maybe in a year I can say, hee ha. But
I'm out of here, suckers.
Mm-hmm.
So long.
Mm-hmm. But but I just need to make sure I can get to the package that I want, as we call it, the retirement package to retire, so to speak, and retire finger quotes, so I can go to the next career for another 15 years or so. Because
Gotcha.
Mike knows me, and he knows that I cannot sit still.
Well.
And also the fact that Mike, we did not do one thing on my birthday a couple of weeks ago. We forgot to look for any 918 trifecta, straight trifecta opportunities.
Ah, man.
Because the one year while I was in Vegas, I went through walking through the book at Harris, and I saw a race was about to go off at Finger Lakes. And don't you know, 918 comes out ice fucking cold and pays over $250. And I did not play because I didn't put 2 and 2 together.
Ah, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Joe.
And for it being the first horse racing bet of the day at like 4 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock Pacific, yeah, it would have been nice. I mean, I don't know what I did early in the day that, probably catching up on things on the computer or whatever, but whatever.
Gotcha.
But we did cut a promo for my horse racing show, Also Eligible, that Saturday, and Mike was super fucking impressed that I did it all in one take.
Now who was Hulk Hogan and who was Macho Man Randy Savage?
Well, I was a one-man gang.
So you're telling me that you pulled off a Roman Reigns, didn't know how to cut promos at first, but then after a while, I do acknowledge my tribal chief as well. But then after years of him doing his own solo thing, and he did the tribal chief thing. He really got better at doing promos. I think that's what you did.
Well, the last time I tried to cut a promo for Bleacher Brothers. I
Mhm.
took 3 tries. I kept stumbling over my words, and I just said, "Fuck it, I ain't doing it anymore." Whereas on Wednesday, that Wednesday was the Wednesday before the Pennsylvania Derby.
Mm,
I said when we got to the casino, when we got to the parking lot at Parx, I said, "We got to go to a racetrack."
mm.
Okay. Don't worry, we're not playing anything. We're going to play in the casino, but I'm going to go in there. I'm going to shoot this video, and we're done. It's just like, "Hi, this is Joe, Bleacher Brothers, blah blah blah. We'll be talking about Parx with the Pennsylvania Derby here on Wednesday." Whatever I said, 25 seconds on top of it, I got it in under, and it was quick to the point. There was a little wind involved, but fuck it, I'm not worried about the wind, and it was done in one try.
Was there any drinking involved as well, or
No,
no?
no, I don't drink.
Oh, well, if it was me, then I would literally be slurring my words like there's no tomorrow, and
Mm.
I would literally just be like, Stone Cold, like,
Yeah.
Stone Cold Steve Austin and all stuff,
Hmm.
just being like, "What? What? What?"
Hmm. And what I should have did when I was at the Derby,
Mhm.
because the last race of the day was in total darkness.
Darkness
Parks.
imprisoning me. All that I see, absolute horror. I'm sorry.
So yeah, I'm not going to show the race in the video because I don't even know if it's on YouTube anymore. But or they even attempted to upload it because you can't see shit. But um, the video of the race doesn't give justice to the fact that there was no light whatsoever,
Mm.
and you could still see the horses coming around, and you see the residual lights from the grandstand as they're coming to the finish there. And I should have taken a video of that just for shits and giggles, but I didn't. But I also told Mike after the cotillion race, I told Mike, I said, "I'm getting fucked here." I said, "Just to let you know, I'm going to get fucked here because guess what? If my horse wins, if one of my long shots win and one of my picks and one of my horses in that leg of the pick 5 finish second, I told him, I said, listen, if my horse wins, they're going to cancel that last race and I'm not going to be happy. Because once I realized the timing of the races and how far behind they were, I was
Mhm.
like, I'm not winning. I'm not going to win this race. I'm not going to win this wager. They're going to cancel this last race out. And because the only reason why they ran it is because the pick 5 was a mandatory payout and they had over $2 million in extra money put into the pool.
So they didn't have any you pick twos.
Yeah, they
Hmm.
do. It's called daily double.
Oh, so they do have daily doubles.
Yeah.
Okay. But they
Yeah.
did, but it wasn't like the pick two, like the you pick twos from like what is it from like McDonald's or Burger King and all stuff. Like you can pick this for like a 2 for special and all stuff, like 2 for 5 special. Nothing like that.
No,
Damn
no.
it.
I mean, but you can play daily double, and I've hit them from time to time.
But even then, like more value out of like daily doubles.
You
If
can.
you, just depends on like the horses that you pick.
Mm, yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Because I've hit it. I mean, you know, if you put the right amount on it and everything, and you get the right combination. Next thing you know, your account goes.
Did you hit any of your last horses for on Saturday?
I went 0 for 4.
Damn. That's unfortunate.
Hmm. And I got the article that I wrote this morning because none of the races were available. My horse finished second.
Wow.
I read the race perfectly in terms of my horse. It was just that the horse that won, I expected to be closer to the front. But I think I said that the horse was, will this horse go for the lead or will it be falling back at the beginning? He fell back, went about 8 wide, and circled the field.
Mm. So
But
it wasn't an end result like the Derby this year,
yeah,
which that was a shit show of an ending.
yeah,
I still from time to time like rewatch that race and all that stuff,
hmm
and just like the ending in general, and I'm just like that was just such a shit show of a race.
hmm yeah,
I'm like my God, man.
hmm
Oh man. Yeah, I think we're way over 2 hours, like
yeah.
almost
We're
two and a half.
220.
Yeah, we're almost at 2.5 hours. Yay!
Yeah, and if I do post this audio, it's going to. I have a 3-hour limit, so.
Oh well, cool. There you go.
So, well, I'll tell you the two remaining stories I was going to mention here.
Yeah, go for it.
First, you see there. Well, I'm not going to worry about the MLB postseason being sent. We basically talked about that already. How to get banned in Vegas without really trying? Well, Green Day lead singer Billy Joe Armstrong called Las Vegas the worst shithole in America.
I don't blame him.
Well, Green Day's music has been banned from 2 Vegas radio stations after Billy Joe Armstrong called the city the worst shithole in America. His comments stem from his beloved Oakland Athletics' upcoming move to Sin City. Like so many, Armstrong is incensed about his hometown MLB team's unceremonious relocation of Vegas, and under John Fisher's apparent disregard for the team's deeply loyal fan base. And one of the things he did do, he said that on September 20th at Oracle Park in San Francisco, not Oriole Park at Camden Yards, but Oracle Park. Um, he said another thing he did when he was in Toronto, he defaced an Oakland A's logo in the hallways of the Rogers Center, I believe it is. Um, he painted a B over it because they have that independent league team called the Oakland Ballers, also known as the Bees.
Mm.
So one station said K. Where is it? KOMP 92.3 in Vegas said, "We pulled any and all Green Day from our playlist. It's not us, Billy. It's you."
Hmm.
And another Vegas station, X1075, posted that Sin City heard him loud and clear, and X1075 is not having it. And the midday host said the entire station was sanitized from Green Day songs.
So Green Day got banned from
Two stations.
From 2 stations. That's interesting.
Now, if you oh no, here comes trouble.
Uh-oh. Hi, SJ. You're here finally.
I'm going to hide you for a second, Brian. Hold on a second. SJ, just want to tell you something. SJ, you're really going to look good in modeling this T-shirt for me. You're really going to look good in this. All right. And I bring Brian back in here because, whoops. Let me.
Oh my God, I'm full screen.
Hold on.
Ah!
Hold on. There we go.
Yay. The beer just hit.
Now, SJ, just to let you know, I told Mike about this T-shirt. Now, the bet that I proposed, just to let you know, there is a 1 in 36 chance of this happening. And if you will see my brackets once the picks close, and Mike, if you want to get in on this free contest on ESPN, I will send you a link. Actually, I will put it on the sleeper page as well. Um, just to let you know, there is a 1 in 36 chance that the Phillies will play the New York Yankees in the World Series. But I will tell you right now, it's not going to be Phillies and Yankees. It will be the Phillies, but it won't be the Yankees. But I'm not telling you because you weren't here earlier tonight. So
Joe. Now you're gonna break. You're gonna break SJ's heart. You're gonna break SJ's heart like there's no tomorrow.
but she has to model this live in Studio 213 if the Phillies beat the Yankees in the World Series if she agrees to it.
In Studio 213. Mm-hmm.
Mike
Mm-hmm.
knows exactly what Studio 213 is.
Oh, that's what, your apartment?
My apartment
Your
number.
apartment number?
Yeah.
So now we know exactly what so now we know what your apartment number is.
Mhm.
Great. Now we just need to find your exact place. Which I do believe you have shared it on Discord
Yeah.
before. So
Well,
uh
SJ's the only person that's allowed to. SJ's the only person that's allowed to stalk me. By the way.
so you're telling me that whenever I go to Philly and all that stuff, I can stalk you? Fine. Be that way. What kind of a friend are you? What kind of a friend are you?
Well,
Damn it. All right, you know what? If anything, I could message Mike or something like that and all stuff. Like I'll see, like, if Mike, you have any social media of any kind or whatever, gladly send it my way because I will follow you. I will follow you on social media, sir, and we will and you can show me where Joe lives and we can harass
well,
him together.
actually, SJ does have my address.
Tell Brian to put the beer down. I do not have beer in front of me. I have beer in my fridge, but not on me. Well, not in front of me right now
Yeah.
as we speak.
Now, I did admit it, but SJ does have my address.
Which I will gladly
And
text her
since
and ask
and
her.
since she's feeling really good tonight and she's dizzy, I guarantee you she will probably share it with you.
Expose him. Expose him. Expose him. Expose him.
Oh, and SJ, you missed the story of me being crop dusted by some fat chick this morning.
It was it was such a glorious story. It was a glorious story.
Yeah, so
It was amazing.
yeah, so
Oh, she wants to join.
oh god, here comes trouble.
All right,
Uh,
so this is how we're gonna close off the exacto 3 hours of the program, Joe. Yay,
so
yay us! Can we get a yay us in chat?
um
Yay us!
there you go.
Yay us!
It was sent
There
to
we go.
both. It was sent both to um um
Twitch and
Twitch, Twitch and YouTube because there's something with X that sometimes the messages that somebody will post doesn't show up and sometimes it does and it doesn't send out for whatever reason
Mm.
but somebody did message when I was watching the Bleacher Brothers playoff preview earlier today. So yay me for Mike. Um, and
Yay
SJ,
all of us!
I did send it to the same email that I sent you the last invite when you were on here.
Yay to all of us! Oh my lord! This is how we're gonna close up. This is how we're gonna close off the program with just a
Mhm.
lot of shit talking.
Oh, and the last part that I want to mention here before SJ comes on,
Mm-hmm.
uh, just showing about the last Oakland postgame show.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, there was a studio conflict. Now, meanwhile, in Philadelphia, SJ, I'm going to add you in a second. Don't worry. But uh, there was some sort of a studio conflict, whereas in Philly, they were able to do Eagles postgame live and Phillies postgame live at the same time. They just had two different desks. They just had one desk, and they couldn't do the show. They did it on tape delay for whatever reason. So I'm adding SJ, and she is also in the witness protection program.
Yes. Yes.
Hello.
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 Oh boy.
Yep. She. I could tell. I could tell by the sound of her voice. She is nice and toasty.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So who won that Titans game? Was it the Titans?
Yes.
Titans won 31-12.
Yeah.
Okay, the
They.
Titans plus 2.5. So Lions plus 4.5 was always okay. What happened?
It was always. It was always the Lions. That's it.
Why?
It,
Well, well,
Seattle couldn't get their shit together whatsoever.
I
well,
And
can't.
well. What happened was Tennessee scored more points than the Dolphins, and
I
the Lions
see.
scored more points than the Seahawks.
Oh, is that how it works?
Yeah, and just to let you know, I was half a point away from being 4-0 on my pro picks on Thursday night after an 0-3 Saturday where I wasn't even close for college.
oh my lord. Which
Wait, wait,
really.
wait.
Oh, go ahead.
So Geno Smith had a career year. I'm sorry. Geno Smith, hold on. Geno Smith had a career day and they still lost.
Hmm Well,
Basically.
well, when you're down a lot, you do tend to throw the ball a lot more.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And just to let you know, I still have one fantasy football team. None of them on sleeper because I've lost at least one game on each one. But I do have one team on ESPN where I have continued where I left off for my 13-1 season. I'm 4-0 in one of those leagues. So,
La do.
Let's
but
go.
I did lose in both of our leagues this week. So, oh well.
Let me check
That
my bets. Hold on.
that's unfortunate.
Oh, and I'd also would like to thank the New York Mets for not taking the attitude of let's knock the Mets out of the playoffs, and
Hey,
they took
Brian,
the
congrats.
Yeah,
because
boy.
just to let you guys know, and uh, I did a huge wager on Rebet, and Rebet is a fun app here where you can actually play. You get 100% deposit match up to $100. And SJ, it is available in Connecticut from what I've seen. It's a social app, but you do have gambling involved as well. 100% deposit match up to $100. So I did a wager today because I was being smart because I figured, okay, well, let me do this. And I caught Rebet just as I um ended up um just as the first game ended. I was watching the baseball preview for Bleacher Brothers as I was working. At first, of Rebet, Atlanta was minus 425 on the money line. Mets were like
Okay.
plus three something. I wasn't doing that. But first time I've seen something like this in a long time. I didn't even see this with the Chicago White Sox. Excuse me. Um, and I'm the one that's sober. Uh, but the Mets were plus three on the run line. but it was like minus 160 or minus 130 something. So I was like, no, I'm not playing anything with the minus, but I think the Mets are going to win this game after the back and forth of the game, major letdown after losing that first game. So I played the Mets plus 2.5 runs at plus 100, and I put $51 on it. Don't you
Uh-huh.
know the Mets? Don't you know the Mets score a grand total of 0 runs in that second game and lose 3
I
nothing?
can't.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
That second game, though.
so let me tell you something. If I had my sound drop that I really want, I would have played it, but I have to play this instead.
That's wild.
But not that big of a deal. I'm not complaining. It's just
Not
that
that big of a deal. No.
well, it
No,
would have
no,
been nice to have $100 in my account, or 103. But
It it would have, yeah. Yep. Yep. Yep.
but uh, you can always count on the Mets. Yeah.
Mm.
At some point you can. But there's other times where if you have a love-hate
Hello?
relationship with the Mets, hello?
Oh,
Hello.
there we go. So sorry, I think I just cut out for a second.
No,
That's
no, you're here the whole time.
yeah, you're here. You're here.
Okay. Okay, sorry
No,
about that.
no,
Sorry.
I mean like
See?
if you're the Mets, then you're I mean you can either hope for that they're gonna win or they're gonna suck. So it's a love hate relationship, and that's what I always have with the Mets. I have a love hate relationship with this fucking team. So
Where do you think they're gonna end up?
I mean I did I did want them to make it into the playoffs, which they did. Well, I mean I'm happy about it. Um, the other thing about it was that the only other situation was that like game two, I was really hoping that they were going to sweep the Braves, so that way the Diamondbacks
Sweep.
can.
Oh,
Yeah.
Noel, I'm sorry. I just kicked my cat. Hold on. Are you okay? Hold on. Noel. Sorry. Go ahead, Brian.
So,
Yeah.
anyways, she took the cat to get a checkup today, which scared the shit out of me when she sent me that message.
Yeah, scared the shit out of me too,
Hey,
and I was like,
Noel.
no, not Noel.
Listen, she
No.
gained a few pounds. I gotta put her on a diet.
Just give her a couple of laxatives; she'll be fine.
Yeah, the doctor said you were chunky. Oh.
you give her laxative,
Okay, can I tell you?
she's gonna end up being like that fucking old
Can I
lady,
tell you
Joe.
this cat was picture perfect? She went in the back for blood work, and this is all you could hear
Aw.
for like 20 minutes.
Picture
Ah,
perfect, just her just going,
yeah, no,
just
but she,
an angry fucking cat.
she was. I wasn't back there, but she was. You can hear the cat going. I was like, oh my god,
Yep,
no, wow.
and that's how you know. That's how you know that cat will always like plan out your murder, no matter what.
For real,
hmm
for real.
But if she's gonna do it, she should do it when you're on Twitch.
hmm Next thing you know, just like unplugs your computer entirely when you're streaming, and
hmm
it's just like no
She has. She has. She has. That's
way. It would literally be funny. It would just be like no way,
no. But there's
and
been
then
so
that's it.
many times she's unplugged the PC. Hey, Noel, where you going?
hmm
Come here.
It's
She,
like
she,
you know what? It's like Noel, what are you doing on top of my PC?
hmm
Accident
I
like
can't.
drops it completely, and then it's like fuck.
She had two vaccines today. This cat isn't even tired. Come here.
That cat is probably hyper as hell
Yeah.
after
She was
what it
good.
said
She
like
was good on
long.
the way to and from.
Yeah, and then when she got home, she was just like I'm gonna be a huge negative Nancy and hard
Listen,
on
guys.
Brother
I
Sean.
drive fast. Okay, there's no doubt I'm a Speedy Gonzalez. But when I had Noel in the car, it was 30 minutes to, 30 minutes, from and to. I had a golf tee, barely made it there. But
Mm,
listen, when I drive with the cat, I drive 5 miles under the speed limit, so there was like 8 cars behind me. You know what I mean? Like
okay.
precious cargo.
Mm. Uh, on another note, really quick, uh, do you think the the Liberty is gonna win against the Aces tomorrow and sweep, move on, or do you think Vegas is gonna force it to Game 3?
I I think the Liberty will probably take tomorrow at home. I don't think they're gonna sweep. I think Vegas is good enough where they're gonna win some at home. I think I did have the Liberty in 4 or 5. I don't know, just like being there at the game, like I just feel like something is like off for the Aces. I'm just not sure what it is, but you know, whether it's Asia Wilson or Kelsey Plum, like there's always one person to step up for the team, and then like everybody else kind of struggles. So I don't know. I feel like with the Liberties like depth and versatility and like poise, I just feel like they're built for the moment. So I definitely have them going to the finals.
I mean, I definitely see that as well. I mean, I think what is it, Kelsey Plum?
She balled
Kelsey,
out.
like yeah, she balled out, and then it was just
Mhm.
like just couldn't just couldn't capitalize on anything, and they lost big.
No, but she had that exchange with Spike Lee. You saw my tweet.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That was funny as
She's
hell.
funny. She's funny. She's a great player.
Mm.
Her post uh post question about it and all stuff. It was like what like I don't know what else to tell you. I mean it was like we had some words exchanged, and yeah, that's how
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave it. And it was like, okay, cool. So you're telling me that if you see Spike Lee again in New York and all stuff, you're still gonna talk shit to him.
Well, listen, you
Great.
guys know Spike Lee. He's always on the sidelines and Knicks or whatever. He's always,
Yes,
talking.
everybody and their mother knows who Spike
Yeah, but
Lee.
he's got to go to that other arena in Brooklyn because they don't play in the same arena the Knicks play in anymore.
Hmm.
Thank God.
Yep. They they
I
don't
love the
play in it.
Barclays so much better. I hate to say it.
Yeah, MSG honestly
I'm
is just
over it.
is way too overpriced
Yeah, I'm
for
over it.
it. Look, it's a beautiful arena, right? It's very beautiful, but
Is
when
it?
you go, yes, it is. Have you went to
I don't
MSG?
think it's beautiful. It's always under construction.
No, this you went to MSG last
I've
like
been to
2
MSG so
years
many
ago.
times.
I mean, if you sit in like the 200 section and all stuff, or in like the 300 section, trust me, you're gonna literally just like have a fucking nosebleed immediately.
Yeah, I've never actually sat above. Like, I've always been in the lower sections at MSG.
Well, good for you because you end up getting like really good cheap tickets and all stuff
But,
for those seats.
Hmm.
bro, I can't take the Oregon. It reminds me of Yankee Stadium. I'm like, what is up with this? Listen, I'm the first one to tell you MSG is so overrated. Oh my God, so overrated.
But you have to admit, UBS Arena is actually very beautiful.
It's beautiful, but MSG is overrated as shit.
It's
But
expensive as shit.
but
Are
next,
you
but
outside?
No, I have my fan like literally pointing like right at me.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, I have my fan pointing like literally right at me. So it's like it's. I don't have a fucking portable AC or anything like that in
Poor
my.
Joe.
I don't have a portable AC in my
Is this
in
part of
my
the show, Joe?
in my basement. Well, this is the portion of the show
well,
where it went
well,
downhill.
truthfully. since we've gone so far off the rails, I'm just like, fuck the
He's
audio
just vibing.
podcast. Fuck the audio podcast. We'll go 4 hours if we have to.
Listen,
Fuck
Bleacher Brothers, I
yeah!
love you guys.
What's that?
Sorry for the delay, Bleacher Brothers. I'm so sorry.
But yeah,
My apologies.
yeah. But I think we're going to be. I think the app is going to be available next week. I think.
Really?
I think.
Hell
That's awesome.
yeah.
But I did do a 5 minute test last night. And Bleacher Brothers. I will be able to stream both on Bleacher Brothers and on here on Joe Quills at the same time.
Ooh.
I
And
love that.
like I said earlier, it's almost as good as two chicks at the same time.
Oh my lord, I wouldn't know anything about that.
That's not what I heard.
Oh my god. Oh,
You see why I'm not. You see why I'm not doing any. Not posting the audio for this now.
yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you.
To all the to anyone who's actually watching this live, thank you for sticking around with us.
Yeah.
Uh and if you guys ever do listen to the next episode of the podcast, then uh yeah.
Now, do you see why I was toying with the idea of main show after show? You see why I was toying with
I
that idea
see.
too?
I see now.
Because this would be the completely off the rails, anything goes portion of it. I mean, but then again, because we're going to be a digital radio station and not an actual terrestrial one, we're not governed by the FCC.
Uh
So we can F bomb all we want if we really wanted to, but I'm going to try not to because I want to try to pretend to be professional. But when I drop that
mm.
first F bomb, we'll turn it into the curse lottery where, like, oh, 922 tonight is the first curse. If you had that, congratulations, you win nothing.
Hmm.
Well, that's
But
part of streaming. Like sometimes it just you go on tangents, it's fun
yeah,
and
yeah,
I've been there and
yeah. Now, the thing is, once we go live on there, I may have somebody even after me um on on my after my show ends at 11 o'clock Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. Wednesday, I'm not going to do an after show. If you know, but if I feel that we're going to do an after show, we'll cut all the things off. But we won't cut down there because that will really hurt. Uh,
Hey
but
yo.
hey
Hey
but
yo.
yo. Settle down. Settle down.
you see why I want to do an after show. But seriously,
I mean, I could always do it on my shit, but that would be a conversation for another day.
but all I have to do is just have it set up as the after show, and I can just continue like 5 seconds later. The only thing is it just takes forever for EV Mux to load, but I'm not complaining about that, or to initiate the stream, I
Noel.
should say. But Noelle, bite mommy in the ankle because she kicked you.
Noel.
Please, Noel, for the love of God,
Noel, there
bite
you go.
mommy.
Noel, come here, honey.
Bite
Now,
mommy.
I do have a question.
Mm-hmm.
I may have an answer.
Now, not necessarily Noelle. If you throw a cat out a car window, does that cat become kitty litter?
Oh my god, I'm done.
Is this another dad joke? Because that was actually that was pretty funny.
That was good.
That was pretty good. Not gonna lie, that was a good
Yeah.
dad joke. Hmm. Oh God. If we're starting to do the dad jokes thing, I swear to God, I will go so inappropriate that you will definitely have to please don't
Well,
upload this on the audio podcast.
well, here's one that I said that I don't think SJ saw today. I know she didn't hear it from me, but I said, truly things things truly go in threes. Dead today. Dikembe Mutombo, Pete Rose, and the Arizona Diamondbacks playoff hopes.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And my one friend, from Bleacher Brothers, he's from Arizona. He got to hear me tell that joke as well. But now, but you know what would happen if you crashed into a cow, right?
Beef jerky? Or
No, it would be an utter catastrophe.
oh god. What does a robot do after a one night stand?
Nuts and bolts.
Yeah. Son of a bitch, you knew that one. Okay. Uh hmm.
Um, we do have I do have news here that the All-Star game next year, they're going to be using their regular home and road uniforms next year. Yay.
Ooh. Where's
Wait,
it gonna
who?
Where's it gonna be at?
Atlanta. But
Oh.
they're going back to the tradition of home and road uniforms as opposed to the goofy ass National and American League uniforms.
Hmm.
Um,
God. What is 6 inches long and has two nuts at the end?
what?
An almond joy.
And we have gone into dad joke territory tonight, thanks to me.
Yep.
Uh,
Oh yeah. Mike is saying almost time. And
just a reminder, the other big news is I've added Wednesdays. It'll start at 10 o'clock. Part of the reason why is once we go digital, um, AJ didn't realize that I did want to do Wednesday shows, but those summer concerts took precedent to me. So we have a golf show at 9, and I'm letting them have the 9 o'clock window, and I'll have 10 to midnight on Wednesday. So just to let you guys know. And if I ever have to make a boom boom during the show, I will be right back.
mm-hmm.
And also, I promote this more on Thursdays. You can catch me Saturdays on the Bleacher Brothers thing if I can. Well, first of all, we need that back up.
Hmm.
Oh, you know what it is? I don't have it set up properly. That's what it is. Okay. Forget that. Anyways, go ahead.
I hear it's easy.
Just giving me one of those. That's all.
Yeah, I hear it's easy to get ladies not to eat Tide Pods. It's more difficult to deter gents, though. A man with four, but okay, okay. Oh my lord. Oh, you would probably like this one.
um,
Oh, you would probably like this one. A woman is on trial for beating her husband to death with his guitar collection. Judge says, first offender? She says, no. First a Gibson, then a Fender.
well, let me tell you that Jesus love you means different things. It's good when you're in a Catholic church, but it's not good when you're in a Mexican prison.
God! That's bad! That's bad! That's bad!
And I think we lost SJ. She's like,
Uh,
I'm tired. I'm tired of these. I'm tired of these dad jokes. I'm passing out from all the
mhm.
alcohol I had tonight. I
Oh,
think.
why did Piglet have his head in the toilet?
Why?
He was looking for poo.
Actually, let me. Actually, let me see if I can share this here. Hold on.
Oh Lord. SJ, are you still alive with us?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, she's passing out.
Well, I
She's
shared
on the verge of
this.
sleeping.
I shared this on my Facebook page. Where is it?
Oh yeah, we're getting into this territory now. Okay.
Nah, I mean this is stuff that I like to. Hold on. I will share this,
Hmm.
and then I'm gonna do that.
Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, man.
Oops, we lost. SJ. I did not do that on purpose. Hold on. I accidentally removed you. Sorry.
SJ, you still okay? You still good? You good there? Did you fall asleep on us? Yeah, I think she fell asleep. Uh
Yeah. So
all right, one more to close this off. What did Cinderella say to Prince Charming?
what?
Want to see if it fits?
Oh Jesus Christ.
And with that, I think it's time to call it a night, Joe.
Yeah. We're gonna call it a night. So
All right.
yeah, I might have to kick SJ out of here like we tend to do on Discord. So, but Brian, SJ, thank you for joining me tonight. Thank you, Mike, for being in the chat. Penguin AZ was here for a while on YouTube. Thank you to everybody who was watching on X tonight. Just a reminder, we are now 4 nights a week, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday at 9 p.m. Wednesdays are at 10 p.m. And the Also Eligible show will still be on the Bleacher Brothers page starting at 10 a.m. Eastern. And we might be going a little bit longer. Bank Boy, he was lurking the whole night. Welcome in. Yeah, we will be doing it live 4 nights a week here. I'll have my Saturday show. Maybe we stream to both here and to Bleacher Brothers since I can do that now, and we'll have some fun. So, and I do have some plans for the Bleacher Brothers, not the Bleacher Brothers show. Jesus Christ. Also eligible once December comes around because, um, Brian, are you used to live in Miami, right?
Yes, I did. I was born and raised in Miami.
You familiar with Jeff DeForest, aka Defo?
I am familiar.
Okay, because he's
With
going to
it.
be doing shows with us,
Really?
and yeah, he's going to be doing shows with us on Bleacher Brothers, and also he is also, and I put it out there already. He actually watched one of my shows a couple of weeks ago. He may be a guest on the Also Eligible show once the championship meet begins at Gulfstream Park around Thanksgiving. So sometime after Thanksgiving, I may have him on the Saturday show, and hopefully it's a Saturday that I'm off. Because if we go 2-3 hours and we talk Gulfstream and horse racing and all the stories that he may have, we're gonna have some fun. So
Mm-hmm.
so and I'd have SJ on there, but she'd probably fall asleep on me.
Probably.
I tend to have that voice, you know.
I mean, you don't have like a godly voice to
I
to
have a soft
soothe.
voice. I can't help it.
Yeah, you know what? I don't blame you. I
And
don't blame.
also, you know, since I have the neighbors across the hall now again, and I think they have a kid
Mm,
in there. So,
mm.
but you know, I mean, I think the previous neighbor when he said that neighbors down the hall can hear my podcast, I think it was more me playing them on my YouTube on my Bluetooth speakers than it was actually hosting. So,
Mm.
but anyway, Brian SJ, thank you. Even though SJ is snoring away probably.
Of
Uh,
course.
you know, but I'm making fun of her in case she does respond to me. You know, so yeah, so The one thing I'll tell you is just let me close out, and we can shoot the shit off air as well. So, but I do thank everybody for joining me tonight. And since we shot the shit so much, we're the next audio only. I'll upload it for tomorrow night's show. So, but I do thank everybody for joining me, and we'll do it live in 21 hours at 9 o'clock here at twitch.tv/Joe Quills, youtube.com/at Joe Quills, and also x.com/Joe Quills. So have a great night, everybody. See you tomorrow.